welcome to this first segment and first, I guess you'd call it, segment in a series called Food for Thought. Tonight's topic will be permaculture. Today is technically June 28th, 2015. It is also the night of June 27th, 2015, if you want to see it that way. So, before I get started on permaculture, I just want to address a very significant historical event that occurred yesterday, 2 days ago, technically. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that same-sex marriage would be legal for all human beings who deserve the same rights as we all do to marry whoever they please. I believe that's a very huge step in the right direction. It's a very progressive move towards human enlightenment. But anyway, permaculture. What is permaculture? Permaculture is derived from perma, per each, maculture, basically meaning crops and plants, the ways and methods they are planted, where they are placed, and where they are positioned in the environment. Monoculture is very much different from permaculture. Monoculture is the planting of one crop only in a certain order. Permaculture is the planting of various crops and plants. Wow, hear that thunder. Permaculture is the planting of various crops and plants in a designated area or environment. Unfortunately, our U.S. agriculture business currently predominates in the monoculture because the evidence shows when you simply fly overhead on a plane and you see all these crop circles and croplands. I mean, when you drive on interstates and highways, you see croplands of monoculture. But I think in regards to humanity sustaining ourselves as long as we can on this earth, monoculture will not work. Monoculture is very destructive to the soil, hence the environment. There are certain companies, Monsanto, that spray insecticides and pesticides to rid of weeds, but unfortunately they kill off and mutate these pollinators that are very essential for crop breeding and sustenance from food that we eat. So pollinators are very much a deep embedded part of how we can survive, and these monoculture industries, large agricorps, I would call them, they're very much in cahoots with the government. They have patents, they have loans to land, so forth, to plant a mass amount of the same crop. Let's say we had, I don't know, 10 acres of land, 20, let's make it 50 acres of land to be slightly realistic here. In one scenario, you have 50 acres of land for one or two crops only. And the means of harvesting them are through your own personal methods, but let's say typically you use insecticides and herbicides to rid of any other plants that could suck the soil nutrients from your desired crops. Well, let's say that after a while, this method of growing your crops and plants does more damage to the soil in a 5-year period than a permaculture crop alignment. So in scenario 2 for permaculture, let's say you plant about 10 different varieties or more. Tangerines, peaches, almonds, peanuts, whatever you feel like planting, go for it, because the more variety you put into the ground, the more balance and homeostasis the ground may obtain. Thunder. So, let's move forward here. As you can see from the slight lighting, you have a huge bush of plant. See here, the plant has buds, has some, let's see, here we go, has some greenish buds. Of what these are, I'm not quite sure, but they are very good botanical plant. They might be some kind of flower lavender. You can't really see it that well, but there are some purple flowers. Maybe you can see it a little better. Yeah, there we go. Here are the buds. So, whoa, trippy. Anywho, this night is very nice, and the thunderstorms are very calming to the area. That is an example of permaculture. If you look at these other plants, I know it's pretty dark, but let's see if we can get a better look over here. So here we have a rose bush. You can actually see it. It's a purplish magenta color. Smells quite nice too. Over here we have some crepe myrtle. You can kind of see it. We have some aloe vera. So, just giving you some tangible examples of the benefits of permaculture. If you had less space to work with even for planting your crops or desired plants, and you did not revert to monoculture but instead utilized the essential methods of permaculture, you will realize that permaculture has... Whoa! That was crazy. I just saw a huge flash of lightning. Permaculture has a lot of benefits to how we live. If you have great permaculture, you will have great sustenance and the ability to produce and constantly reproduce your plants, your food source. You will not have to worry about weeds unless it's about once a month. You only really have to weed out manually weeds for like once a month, because weeds don't really grow back that fast, and if you're really on top of your growing game. Also, the fact that marijuana is another issue, of course, that needs to be resolved. in this day and age, especially in America right now, on a federal level. Um, Besides the point, marijuana is very good for permaculture because it very much nourishes the soil that you planted in, um, and it suits well with other various crops as well. You can plant it with anything: alfalfa, peanuts, fruit trees, even regular trees, and uh, just the variety of plants will give the soil more breathing room to experiment with its homeostasis. If the soil has one crop in a massive area, it doesn't get that much variety for nutrients, so the nutrients will naturally die out quicker. Besides, permaculture, aside from permaculture, I'm sorry. And in the long run, in a 5-year period, like I said a little earlier, permaculture will benefit us a lot more because of the soil nutrients being preserved, because of the food production probably practically doubling. Um, and you have just more of a variety, and realistically, who doesn't like variety? I mean, if you have any kind of uh, commune or sustainable garden anywhere in the US or the world, you'll understand that this this way of producing food is so much better for the earth. It's so much better for yourself. You'll probably feel better when you're walking through this forest of food. It's gratifying. It really is, and I can honestly vouch for that. There's a garden in the backyard. Actually, I would not be able to show you in this part of the video. I might be able to show you in tomorrow or when it's light out, but I think that permaculture is the future of growing plants. And if you think large agricultural companies are gonna listen to that kind of talk, um, think again, because that puts their business in jeopardy. So, I guess moral of the story, be very mindful of the earth you live on. Cherish every moment of it. This is the only life you get. So, live happy and healthy, safe and secure. And grow your food with variety. Awesome. Peace and love, guys.